A very good evening, folks. Hello, hope you are all doing well. After that result tonight up in Falkirk, Celtic won, Falkirk nil. It was a game in hand, and we got the 3 points. So we are back level on points with Rangers, but we have an extra goal on the goal difference. 6 points behind Hearts. Hearts won tonight. Unfortunately, they did win, considering St. Mirren were playing with an extra man, and 2 goals disallowed in the first half for St. Mirren. But it's about the champions tonight. It's about it was a scrappy win at Falkirk. I just thought in the first half, thought we were absolutely brutal. Falkirk could have had two or three goals, but the most important thing is we came up with the goods. Arnie Ingles with a lovely cross in to Benjamin Nygren. It was a lovely, basically converted corner to Benjamin Nygren's head, and scrappy win. But the most important thing is it's a win on the road. It's a win under Martin O'Neill, and it keeps us in the title race, because we could be having a different conversation tonight, criticising, saying, right, what happened here, what happened there. But the most important thing as well is it was a clean sheet, a big clean sheet for Kasper Schmeichel, who I've criticised a lot in recent times. In the 80th minute, he pulled off a cracking save. We looked like we were all over the shop in the first half, especially with Tierney and the Mexican Julian. Falkirk, give them the respect that they deserve. They were counter-attack. Their pressing was unbelievable in the first half, especially towards the end of the game. Their pressing was unbelievable as well. Unfortunate for them, but it's a big win for us. And if you have to play, you have to scrap these 1-nillers for the rest of the season to have a chance to win the title. Why not? You can't play the most expansive football that you would want, but you can definitely see that we are really, really struggling up front. Days in Maeda, he looks like he's just not bothered at times. Really looks like he's checked out. Yes, he scored the weekend against Dundee, but he's not given he's not using that type of tempo that he had previously. And that's what I was saying the other night on my socials. Would you listen to offers for Days in Maeda now in this window? But you need to get players in. And we're going to talk about players that we're linked with tonight. 2 or 3 players that have been thrown in the mix over the last day or so. We're going to talk about strikers that we should be going for. What we need most than anything. But congratulations to Benjamin Nygren. His 10th goal for Celtic in the league in his first season, which isn't bad at all. There's his stats, folks. 10 goals, 3 assists, 14 starts, 22 games. He's played 33 games for Celtic so far. Doesn't even feel like it, but he's played 33 and 11 goals so far for the Hoops. Not bad for 600k. You can't complain there. Let us know in the comments how he's feeling about the results. I know it came on a bit later than normal, but look, better off giving him a reaction than not coming on at all, which is the most important thing. Get the comments in as well. Look, Nygren was good. I thought Atate struggled in the game at times. I thought Colin McGregor, he was trying to push the team up, but you know what? It's a clean sheet. It was a brutal watch the first half, no doubt about it. But we got the goal on the stroke of half time, and it's job done. I wouldn't be nothing much to boast about tonight, but it was a hard game, especially on that surface. The conditions wasn't great as well, but Celtic turned up. Celtic got the spark that they needed to get the engine, and we got the result. We're back down the road with 3 points against a team that has been outstanding since they got promoted. And you know what, Scott Bain? Some people might say Should the goal stood because it looked like there was a bit of contact between Maeda and Bain. There was a shove in there, but John Beaton situation with him coming off injured, before the shocking, we really need a striker. It's becoming desperate. It's almost a year since we sold Kyogo to Rennes, and still haven't replaced Kyogo. Really, really, really bad. And if it's a case where if we had someone up front, it could be a different story tonight. Someone like banging in goals, and we just need hunger. We need fresh blood. We need players to come in that want to make a mark. Want to lead us to the title. Okay, pivotal 3 points exactly. Hard watch, but it's a job done, and wasn't the most exciting goal you'll see, but it was in the back of the net, and it was a lovely cross from Arnie Ingles. I thought Ingles played well. Give the credit where it's due. Scales and Trusty, it's clean sheet for them as well, even though they were a bit rocky at times, especially towards the end of the game. And I thought Kieran Tierney was going to pick up a long injury there, but he got back up. He was fine. Yang looked all right. I thought Yang looked like work rate looked okay. Probably a performance out of 10, probably a 6 out of 10. I had to give Nygren probably, 8 out of 10. Callum, 6 out of 10. Tierney just got exposed so many times tonight. The Falkirk wingers were running amok. He pulled off some crucial saves. And I being, Devil's advocate towards Kasper Schmeichel. His dad was in attendance tonight as well in Falkirk, and he pulled off a cracking save. The 80th minute, that was a crucial save. I could be on this tonight moaning, saying that we dropped 2 big points, especially with Hearts playing. I know you're going to look at the Hearts game. They finished 2-0 with 10 men. They were down to 10 men before they even scored their first goal. But look, Atate's well checked out. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I feel like Maeda and Atate, I love Maeda. I absolutely love Daisy Maeda. Yeah, it will be a hard one to take when he leaves, but at the same time, you're saying to yourself, he sailed his course with Celtic. It's like, I don't know if he's just unhappy for personal reasons, or is it down to him as a player? He's a bit frustrated with himself that he's not getting as much goals that he was, even though we did score the weekend. Like when he scored that rebound against Dundee United, did not care. Not a bit of relief at all in his face. And I put a picture up on the socials the other day of him when he scored his first ever goal for Celtic against Hibs, and he was going ecstatic. Now he's just like, I know some Japanese players don't show emotion. Like Nakamura, he showed emotion. Kyogo showed emotion. Atate at times showed emotion. Maeda showed a lot of emotion, especially in derby games. But look, it's 3 points tonight. Nothing to boast on about. We went there to do a job. We got the job done. We didn't play to the level that we could have. But you need to give respect to the home team as well. I thought, Taneki struggled. I agree. I think Taneki did struggle in the game, especially trying to get, compared to what he was the weekend. I thought he struggled. Tierney really, really did struggle tonight. Ingles, you know what? There was a bit of fight with Ingles in the first half. I think the second half he kind of struggled. I know McCown came on and stuff, but look, Falkirk are always going to be a difficult team. This is why they're 6th in the table, McCown was bad when he came on. As I said, I know McCown came on. It's just, I don't know what the story is with Luke McCown. I like him because he's a Celtic boy and all that, but like some fans have kind of made their mind up about McCown. Some feel that he's nowhere near the level to be starting for Celtic or playing for Celtic. Some people think that maybe the Celtic mail was too much for him because he was bossing at Dundee. I was delighted when we got McCown in. I thought like the type of player that we could need, but I just feel like he's never going to be a starter. He's not like, you look at that bench, I prefer to go to Bernardo than I would McCown. Really would. But let's talk about the striker that we're linked with. Get the questions in anyways. I'm going to pull up this. Show you this now, if I can. So this has been done the rounds there 3 hours ago. Now I do apologize if I pronounced the name of the club wrong and the name of the player wrong. I'm just gonna wing it. Simple as gonna wing it. Celtic are exploring the conditions of a deal for NK Kelji forward Franco Kovacevic. He's attracting a lot of interest due to the impressive form in Slovenia and Europe. Celtic have ramped up their pursuit of the striker in the last 40 hours. Now, what I've read about him is, accordingly, this guy's after scoring 14 goals in Europe this season between Europa League and Conference League, regards to qualification, league stage. He's 24 goals in 28 games, I read as well. So I'm going to look at this guy up in full depth, see what he's all about. We'll look him up on FotMob. Like, that's some amount of goals. Yeah, it could be the Soviet. I think he's playing in Croatia as well. So let me see. Domino. That's not him, is it? Let me see. That's not him. 2 seconds. Franco, there he is there. He's Croatian. He's 26 years of age. Let me have a look at his stats. He has 11 goals. What's his stats? There, 20 since he's went to that club since last summer. 25 goals in 28 games. He's done well. Like, he's done well, pretty well. So he looks like a player that actually has been around. Has he been capped for Croatia? He hasn't been capped for Croatia in senior level. Surprised he actually hasn't got a call up yet for the Croatian team on the senior side. What amount of goals he scored? So he's playing in Slovenian league, and he's whacking them goals in. He's played over in is that China as well? He's played in the German league as well. He's played in Greece. Played in Greece as well. Is that Greece or Cyprus? Sorry, could be Cyprus. Probably Cyprus. Sorry. So he has a bit of experience. I wonder how much his value is. His transfer value is at. I'll have a look now, folks. I can't even pronounce his name. I'm going Franco Kovacevic. Hold on. Franco Kovacevic. That's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm gonna wing it as that. You know. Martin O'Neill's just rinsed their midfield on Celtic TV. Celtic trustees like F.A. Ambrose. Keith, let's be realistic. We're a bad result away from a disaster. We are winning nothing this season. Well, we need to strengthen. If we don't strengthen in this window, I definitely think we're not going to win this league. You know, and I know a lot of people are saying, I know a lot of other podcasts are kind of hemming it off the same sheet, saying it depends on, in this 3-horse race, who does the best business in January will go on to do it. I think it's necessarily true that it is. Like, we need a striker. We don't get a striker in, we're not going to win the league. We have Johnny Kenny that has no confidence at the moment. We have Daisy Maeda, who's half checked in. We have Kelechi, who's still out injured. We have Callum Osmond, who's still out injured. We have a winger called Jota, which he's only came back for a PR stunt. And he scored a few goals, and is all the nostalgic moments for him. Like, I'm a bit pissed off with the whole Jota thing. And I know it's not. I know he picked up a horrible injury. But I'm feeling like to myself, this cunt is stealing a wage. He's stealing a wage. Like, he should have been play as you pay. pay as you play, that type of player. Because it does my head in about Jota. Like, I really, really believe this, and I'm not trying to be horrible when I say this. I think we're not going to see that Jota that you've seen in the first term of Celtic. Jota was brought back in because he had an emotional attachment to Celtic, so they can get the younger folks buying into him. That's what it was. That's what it was. Let's be honest. Like they do with Tierney. Yeah, Tierney is starting to get a bit better, but tonight he wasn't great at all. He was not great. He got exposed so many times tonight. And what Green for God was saying is we are one bad defeat away from disaster. We're clutching onto straws here, expecting miracles. We really fucking are expecting miracles. And I think it's very hard on Martin O'Neill and Fozzie and Sean Maloney. Yes, they're sailing the ship. Yes, they're doing the training. Yes, the hard work's been put in. Yes, some of these players have been in this position before where they've been in a title race or they have the mentality of sailing on after Christmas. But this is completely different to some other players where they fucked it up for their own selves. And I'm not going to keep blaming Nancy and Rodgers and Nicholson. The point is, them players on the pitch, if they're in it and they want to win it, they have to work hard. And tonight was a brutal game to watch. The first half, we should have been down. Shouldn't be going in 1-0. We should have been down 2 or 3-0 against Falkirk. Let's be brutally honest with each other. There's no point of covering the fucking cracks and saying, oh, well done, Nick. It's a 3 points, but we were poor. We were below average. We didn't have the hunger. We didn't have the intensity. But as Michael Stewart said tonight, they just keep plucking away under Martin O'Neill and they're getting the results. And that's, yes, some people can hype on that. It's just, it's quite concerning that we're 14 days into a transfer window. I know that we're looking at a Croatian forward. I know we've been looking at an Ivorian forward from Chelsea who's on loan now in Turkey. But it's just like actions speak louder than words. And I just feels like it's the same hymn sheet every single fucking transfer window where we're going into the last week or two and we're literally pulling players out on loan moves because they're having a shite time at their parent club or they're just, rottling the reserves or that they've been injury prone. Like that guy, Julian, the Mexican guy, he only played 1 game for Bournemouth last season and he got sent off in that game. Yeah, he looked all over the shop today. He got exposed so many times on that right flank. But Nicholson needs to resign. He's an embarrassment. Like he's meant to be the big business guy in the club now. Lawwell's stepped back. Lawwell's gone. Then you have Wilson in there. He's done fuck all. Like this is the silent board. The silent board that gives you your pay increases every season. Tap you on the back. For what? For not investing in the team to the level. And they keep blaming the climate of football. Keep blaming the financial landscape of football now of not attracting players because we're against superior leagues out there now. Hold on a fucking minute. You have 80 million in the bank. 80 million in the bank. It's just embarrassing. Balikwisha, what a waste of a player. What a waste of wage. He just isn't good enough for Celtic. And I know I'm one of them fans, and I'm sure I'm not the only Celtic YouTuber that bigged up Michel Ange Balikwisha when he was at Royal Antwerp, when he had Champions League experience, Europa League goals, and he was bought from Stade Liège to Royal Antwerp for a decent fee, and he looked like a bit of a player in the Belgium Pro Jupiter League, but my God, he's just not doing it. He's not doing it. I just think wingers in general in football these days are struggling. Some wingers just can't do it. Look at Nicholas Keown. Can't cut the sauce in Serie A. Playing for Como. No goals. Some players just don't have that. Some players just don't suit a certain club, don't suit a certain system. And it's concerning times, folks. I'm really believing, and I know there's loads of time there's like a week, nearly 2 weeks left in the transfer window, but I really believe that we're not going to get the players that we need in to have an actual good crack at this league. You know, I wonder how much Celtic are watching Rangers transfers to see. It's just ridiculous. Like, we should be never comparing ourselves. Like, if Celtic were actually fucking ambitious about winning this league, what they do is get a guy in like Kieran Berry. I'd get Kieran Berry in. I know some people might question and say, oh, he's only scored 8 goals or 9 goals in the league this season. But he's a player that knows the league now. He's 23 years of age. Some potential there. I just think people need to stop moaning and saying, oh, I wouldn't pay 6.5 million. It's not your fucking money. It's not your money. At the end of the day, the money, if it was your money, it's gone into the club. Use the money and break the bank. Break the fucking bank. Break the bank and make, if it's the most expensive player between Scottish teams, fucking do it. You have to move up with the times. This is the problem. Celtic are afraid to raise themselves to that transfer fee, because if they raise themselves to that transfer fee, clubs in the going forward would expect that for other players. Bringing back Elyounoussi. Is Elyounoussi not playing for Copenhagen? Starfelt's pretty happy over in Celta Vigo. As far as I know, he's been actually used the captain's armband over there. Been the captain over there. That's Motherwell now. Finished. Falkirk have skilled their midfield. Engels will never make it at Celtic. McGregor's finished. And if Rodgers can offer us money, take it. Do you know what? I'll let McGregor go in the summer. Yes. I just think you keep him around to the summer and then let him go. And people say, oh, we're nothing without Callum McGregor in that midfield. But sometimes Callum McGregor goes missing and we struggle. We absolutely struggle. If you hear that kind of squeaky noise, it's not a fart, by the way. I'm actually on this squeaky chair. So bring back Sutton. Bring back McGrain. Just, I'll take Georgia Samaras back at this rate. I think Martin O'Neill is talking the rap for the board. But you're getting a wage, aren't you? You're gonna listen to your bosses. And I know Martin's the middleman between the fans and the board, but at the end of the day, time will tell. And the board should learn from the mistakes. Failures upon failures. I'm going to give a shout out to another one from Paul, a great YouTube Celtic channel. I was watching his video he done a couple of days ago about every Celtic transfer window since 2003. And you just look at the players that we brought in and just never cut it. And then the cheap players that we've got, like the likes of fucking Freddie Lundberg, bringing him in at 33 years of age, plays 8 games for Celtic as a shite bag, absolute shite bag, training with Celtic and with Arsenal fucking gloves on and comparing Arsenal to Celtic and all that type of shit. Like, you look at value for money in January. Chris Commons was a great value for money. I think we got him for about just under 500k. What a player he was, Nicholas thinks Celtic is just a business. Yeah, they do treat it like a business. They don't treat it like a football club. They just think about profit. They don't think about what the fans actually think, because they knew that the fans were right on their balls after the Rangers game. And I'm not repeating myself all the time and saying this is that and this is this. The fact is, if we don't strengthen, we're not going to win the league. If we do not beat Hearts at Tynecastle, I don't think we'll win the league. And I know people might think I'm a bit premature and that's only the end of January. I really believe we're playing next week, right? We're playing on Sunday against that team in the Scottish Cup. Who gives a rat's fuck who they are? I don't care. I really don't care. Like, it doesn't. I'll watch the game. It doesn't really hype me up, but I'll watch it because it's a Scottish Cup game and it's Celtic. And then we'll go off to Bologna. on Thursday. And Bologna are a good side. I think we'll probably get fucking smashed by Bologna, to be brutally honest with you. Well, I did say that about Feyenoord as well. But and then we had to come back and play at Tynecastle on Sunday. Like, this is why I hate the Europa League. This is why moments like this is why I don't give a fuck about Europe. Our bread and butter is the league. It always is. And it's always good to have a crack in Europe. But right now, with the position that our squad is in, I don't really give a fuck. I think we should be resting players against Bologna. We don't need the Europa League. The Europa League is a distraction. We need players fresh for Tynecastle that following Sunday. That's what we need. Casper did save us tonight. Definitely saved us, you know. I think the bar should give Jordan Larson this window. He's done it's time to do it. He's done well, Jordan Larson. You know, he's done well at Spartak. He's playing at Copenhagen at the moment as well. He's playing in the Champions League. He scored in the Champions League as far as I know. You know. This is why we need it. So it's concerning. And usually I always say it's very hard to get players in January. Very hard. But players want to move. The agents, this is where the agents make the money. Players want to move. Elianusi. Yeah, Larsson's playing on the right. Elianusi's playing on the left for Copenhagen. Like, we had a chance to get that guy Højbjerg in. And we didn't. A winger. We have wingers. Like, I keep Yang until the summer. Massively need a revamp at Celtic. Massively need one. But let's look at this guy I was talking about. Franko Kovacevic. Now, there will be people obviously pronouncing it. His name is probably different, but pronounced different. So this is the guy we're after, according to Anthony Joseph of Sky Sports. We've inquired about a guy that's playing in the Slovenian league. His market value is 490k. I'm actually going to check this guy up on transfer market, see how long's left in his contract. He's never been capped for the Croatian national team. He's been capped under 21 level. Like, transfer market saying that he has 3 years left in his deal. Don't know. Like 14 goals in Europe this season. Well, that's between the conference and the Europa. Obviously, he was doing Europa League qualifiers with that Slovenian side. But let's see. Keith, your legend, how are you getting on? Hope you're well. Hope you're doing good. Paddy, I went to Zagreb years ago. He's a Celtic fan now. He plays for Porto. There's players that we could have got in the past and we just don't get them. Like, we could have done a bit of Lennon Miller magic tonight. You know, like we missed out on like Niall McGinn. Like we missed out on Ivan Toney. Players that could have been at Celtic, but thanks to that fucking hungry grabbing boards, they don't want to spend the money. They do not want to spend the money. They do not want to give an extra 50 grand or 500 grand for a player because it's, it might be a little knock to the bank account. You know, they don't treat the football club like a football club. It's a PLC. But look at Nygren. You know, Nygren has been good. We'll give Benjamin Nygren like 10 goals so far. It's not bad. It's not bad. You know, he might finish the season near 20 goals. But no matter how many goals you score, it's about winning the title. That's what we're all here for. We all want to win this title. We all want to be singing 5 in a row. I'm just quite concerned that where we're going with this. Like, as I said, Martin O'Neill, it's good that he's come in and steadied the ship, and we're not moaning about Wilfred Nancy anymore. But it's 3 points tonight. We have that game the weekend, the cup. Make a couple of changes. Bring Sensalo in. Play Donovan. Maybe play someone left back from the academy. Give Welch a bit of time. Bring Dane Murray in. Rest Callum McGregor. Bring Bernardo in. Bring McCown in. Change it all around. Start Kenny because he needs a bit of confidence as well. McCown's confidence is gone. He's just, his head is melted. Like, we need to understand as well, these are human beings. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You've seen the clips of when we could see it against Motherwell, he was effing and coursing. And I don't blame him, because it didn't work under. What's it said? Stream not the best tonight, mate. Your Wi-Fi, laptop shy. Should be all right. Laptop is that's fine. Give me a minute. Should be fine. I'm gonna be jumping out now in 5 minutes anyway. Yeah, he is. Like I said, James Ward-Prowse. It's about the wages. It's the wages. James Ward-Prowse is probably on about 50 grand a week, 55 grand a week. I can't see him come to Celtic. Some free kick taker, some set piece on him. James Ward-Prowse young. Be fine with me with the stream. Let's have a look. People are asking about James Ward-Prowse. He's 31 years of age. He could do a job for Celtic. West Ham update emerges interest from Southampton. Maybe he could hijack that deal. Yeah, I know, fair enough, he was at Southampton and he led Southampton into the Premier League. But this type of player, like, he has 2 years left in his deal at West Ham. A player like him with experience as well, like, could be ideal in the middle of the park. I'd rather him than Atate, to be brutally honest with you. I think he's only played 6 games this season. James Ward-Prowse. Surprised with that. Don't know if it's just down to injuries or he's just out of favour at West Ham. The Moyes effect, eh? Fofana. I was looking at Fofana earlier on. David Fofana, the Ivorian forward, not convinced. Scored an absolute cracker for Burnley last season. Was it last season or this season against West Ham? An absolute cracker, but he's over in Turkey at the moment. You know what? I think I'd be all in for Kieran Berry. I've said it on the podcast earlier on. I think that's a player that we should be looking at. I think Celtic fans are like, oh, he's not worth 6.5 million. How is he not worth it? Is he in the hoop short yet? How can you say he's not worth it? He's fucking scoring goals in the league. And did anyone see his fucking volley for Hibs at the start of the season? Some techers that was. Like, I hate when people say, oh, he's not worth it. Well, take a gamble. You have to take a gamble in football. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I'm telling you, Berry knows the league. And Rangers want them, Celtic want them. So so far he's 8 goals in the league. 15 goals in 50 games for Hibs. Now, to some people that are watching the podcast tonight, that doesn't appeal to you. It should be, if he was 22 goals, 23 goals, maybe, yeah. But he's only young. He's only young, and he's done well with Hibs. He's only at Hibs a year and a half. You know? They're saying market value 1.2 million, and they're putting him at 6.5. I think we could get him for about 5 million with add-ons, maybe up to 7. I really believe he's a guy with potential. He's been capped for Scotland twice as well. Why not? Yeah, he's 8 goals already this season. You know, would you rather him putting a goal in for Celtic or a goal in for Hibs? Let's be honest. Paying 6 million to an SPL team that's what we should be doing to help to build the league. But you don't want to do that because, Chris, once you do that, clubs will expect that from Celtic all the time. Look at the days when we got fucking players from other teams in the league, like Paul Hartley's. Yeah, Presley was a free. You know, Scott McDonald's, Chris Killens. Yeah, I know it wasn't directly from Hibs, but Lee Griffiths. Like, Griffiths was a cracking player for Celtic. I was watching videos of Griffiths earlier on. Like, Griffiths scored 40 goals in one season for Celtic. Fans forget about that. People forget about that, you know? Can't believe we are still favourites to win the league. I don't think we're going to win the league if we don't strengthen. Get a player in before the Hearts game. We need a forward for the Hearts game, because if we don't get a forward in for the Hearts game, I'm going to say it now on the podcast, we're going to get fucking beaten, because we're struggling up front. We're struggling up front. We seen that the last time we went to Tynecastle, we didn't have any firepower up front. Callum McGregor scored for us that day. You know, Larson, 650 grand. Jordan Larson won't leave. Jordan Larson won't be leaving. Why would you leave Copenhagen when, how many games is he playing? He's played 104 games since he's been there, which isn't bad. 24 goals this season. In the Super League in Denmark, he's 5 goals and 2 assists. He started 14 games of 18, and he's not even playing as a forward. He's playing preferably on the wing. Not a bad player. It's crazy to think he's 28 years of age now, Jordan Larson. You know? Yeah, Henrik was 750 grand. Yeah, but football has changed, Paddy. The landscape of football has completely changed now, but remember, Celtic will get the best out of Bowie. And this is me putting a comparison on it. I think Bowie would be like Lee Griffiths at Celtic. He may not have that free kick specialist, but I think he could be a finisher like Lee Griffiths. I think he's worth it. You know, don't get me wrong. Pay it if he's worth it. Look at Newcastle, Liverpool fee for Isaac. That was like 129 million or something. You know, get him in. Yeah, fair enough. That Croatian guy is at the scoring 24 goals or 25 goals in 28 games. But come on, he's playing in Slovenia. No disrespect to the Slovenian league, but like, that level's completely down compared to the Scottish league. And the Scottish league's not fucking the greatest fucking league to watch in the world, but you know, it's faster pace, more physical. We got Larson, and Williamson was aware that the secret clause in the contract. Yeah, you must have watched the overlap, did you? Did you watch the overlap podcast when he mentioned it about the secret clause? Remember Matty Elliott trying to get money? Nah, I wish it was. I heard him saying that. So rank the performance out of 10 tonight, folks, on the channel. I would say a 6 out of 10 performance. 6 out of 10 performance. There wasn't enough flow with the ball. And there was stages in the game where it kept going. McGregor, Scales, over to Tierney, back to McGregor, Yang, back to McGregor. It was like that, a lot of that tonight. I'm going to stay on for another 2 minutes and then I'll jump off. But I will start doing videos on these players that were linked there. Yeah, you heard him saying it. I watched the podcast. It was actually all right, you know. It's not like you've never heard this before. Like you've heard him talking to different podcasts about his career at Barcelona, Helsingborg, Celtic, players like that. You know, that's it. It's a clean sheet. Clean sheet. The Mexican got exposed a couple of times, but you know what? It's a big clean sheet. Shit pitch, but not the excuse. Look, we got the points there tonight. Yeah, the Macaroni Stadium's pitch is shit. Rugby Park's pitch is shit. We're playing on another Astro the weekend, but should have enough. Should have enough in the tank to beat this team. But it's a Scottish Cup. There could be upsets there, and I hope these Celtic won't be getting an upset. But as I said, I'm trying to be optimistic about next week. I'm dreading the game next Sunday because we have that game on Thursday, and they'll be fresh in the tank to play us, especially at home. You know, all in for 3 points. That's it. Sometimes you gotta scrap for the win, and you know, regardless who it is, once you get that win, you're going home. You learn from your mistakes. You learn that when these teams are on the counter attack, like if we were playing 3 at the back tonight, we would have been hockey by Falkirk. We would have been hockeyed. And that's the God honest truth with 3 at the back. It's just good to see Ralston's not playing. Really good to see that because I don't trust Ralston anymore. I think Ralston is just sell boy product. What happened to KT? He looked like he got a bit of a hit and he was down for about 2 minutes. I think he should be playing more forward, to be honest, Nygren. You know, some of the finishes out in this season has been unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, that's the truth. It would have been. But look, it wasn't. It wasn't. We got the 3 points. Home and dry. Clean sheet. Thank you, Casper, for the big save. And maybe I know this sounds a bit cringy. Maybe this will be the spark for Casper Schmeichel to kick on now. I know, obviously. I heard that squeaky chair, Keith. You hear it again? Yeah. The squeaky chair. Can't be as bad as that bike in Ibrox. Oh, God. Squeaky bum time being a Celtic fan at the moment. Oh, God. I think he's a bit of a headless chicken in midfield at times. Bursting himself, getting back. It's what we need. Maeda kept going wide. Yeah, he just looked like Maeda's losing his end product. You know, he's lacking that confidence, and sometimes he just needs an arm around and saying, look at Dazen, you can go in the summer. You just need to play well and get yourself into that Japanese squad because you have a World Cup coming up, Dazen. So get the finger out because everyone's going to be fighting to get into that Japanese squad. Players that are Japanese in the Bundesliga and the French League and the Premier League. CCV is done in my eyes. Won't be back. 100% he's done. Thank you for your service. You know. Same with Jota. People need to just get into their heads. These boys ain't coming back to play until next season. And then when they probably do play back, when they do come back, they're probably just done anyway. You know. He's happy. He's happy with the squeaky chair. Good. The Graham Norton chair. So the Woken getting a better chair, won't they? Won't be sitting on this anymore. Everyone picking up every little noise from the sirens outside. There's a sneaky little farts to the little squeaky chair. There's been no farts. I won't be farting on these lives. There's no Guinness in the tank. Keith, stop farting. WD-40. It's just hopefully we get a keeper as well. So I would be happy if we get Lukovic, Kieran Bowie and the defensive midfielder. I think that would do it. Maybe another winger. Even take a winger on loan. See this guy that we're linked with from Brazil, the Uruguayan that's playing in Brazil. Not a chance. Looked at him. He doesn't look fast at all. And if he's struggling to play in Brazilian football, where you get a lot of time on the ball, it just shows Celtic's bad scouting. Just shows Celtic's. Yeah, the Quintana. I looked at him, not a chance. Wouldn't go near him. Segur looked at a player. You know what? He looks like, don't get me wrong, the Canadian right back, he looks pretty decent. The guy that plays for Haji Split looks like a good player. You know, he can play defensive midfield as well and centre back. You know, Bowie, Lubkovic, and Segur, and get someone else in on the wing. Just need a good defensive midfielder as well, because we need to plan for the future. And I mean, like, as in defensive midfield, like, at least when we had Beaton, we could slip Beaton into that role. He could do a job. We don't have anyone that you could rely on to come in and Callum McGregor. Callum McGregor gets injured as much as he hasn't been at the races. You don't have anyone that can play in that position. I know Engels played it in the last season, 1 or 2 of the games. How much would John McGinn cost? Oof. I don't know how long John McGinn has left in his contract. Did he not just sign a new deal about a year ago? John McGinn, what age is John McGinn now? He must be 31 or something, is he? 31, yeah. John McGinn's contract expires. Yeah, I was right. Last contract extension, 50/11/25. Expires in 3 years' time. How much is John McGinn's value market? 15 million. We're not getting John McGinn, folks. Not a chance. Definitely not. He'll stay at Villa, you know. He helped Villa get up to the Premier League, you know. That famous celebration. And yeah, we definitely need to sign a new chair as well, by the way, for me, in the transfer window. Need to start picking off French players again. Benefited off that massively over the last decade. Christopher Jullien, Odson Edwards, Olivier Ntcham. Well, Ntcham declared for Cameroon. Jullien was fantastic. He got Celtic. You know, we had some great moments with Jullien against Lazio, against Rangers. You know, he was someone actually fought for the shirt. And you know what? I look at players. Do you know who I'd love at Celtic? Do you know who I would love back at Celtic? I think he could do a job at Celtic. And he's not too old. And he's a player that could, you know, I look at him back in 2020 before he left the club. And he was probably only one of the players to actually try it. A chair transplant in Turkey. Christopher Royer. I would take Christopher Royer back in a heartbeat at Celtic. And that's not like a Jota or a Tierney thing. I'd take him back because I think we need that kind of centre back who was actually not afraid to bring it up the pitch. Like you seen Scales doing it at the weekend. He was taking it on. But tonight he was very deep, Scales, you know. What about the strikers from the U team? Well, we had a striker in the U team that we could have used. And he ended up going to West Ham. Daniel Cummins. Remember we had the guy that was banging goals in for Celtic's U team last year. And we gave him a whole like 12 minutes of football, I think, against Aston Villa. And then we cashed them in to West Ham. Cummins, that's another one that we should never let go. Kelly wanted to go. Doak wanted to go. Cummins wanted to go. Because they're never getting the chance. Could carry the ball and pick the ball out. He was signed. Yeah. Speaking of Paddy Roberts, I was looking at Paddy Roberts today. He's 28 years of age now, Paddy Roberts. He had a really bad time, didn't he? When he never got that permanent move to Celtic. He went to Girona, is it? In Spain. Picked up injuries there. He was out for 4 months. Then he went to Derby. Didn't really work out with Derby. At Sunderland. Done well at Sunderland. He's now at Birmingham. You know, no. We will get a striker. We'll probably get a striker on loan the last bleeding day of the window, man. You know? Yeah, because the championship is good for him, and I think the championship is like the Scottish Premiership. It's that kind of level. Some of the teams in the championship are fucking good teams. You know? Swap Yang for Roberts. Why not? Bring PR7 back, eh? PR7 back for you. You know, you could get 2 years out of Paddy Roberts. That's all you need. People don't need to be thinking about 3 or 4 year deals anymore. You just think you take every season as it comes. Because the way the football landscape is gone, you're lucky to get a year or two out of a player. Take them in for the year or two, fucking see what they do, and then offload them. You know. The thing about Callum Wilson is, I think he would be good for Celtic. Callum Wilson could be fucking do a job up here, or he could be. Oh, this is a mad comparison. He could turn out and be like Scott McDonald, or he might turn out to be a fucking Carton Cole, you know. But I really want Bowie. I know we should never let Tony Tomoki Iwata go, you know. No more ex-players coming in. Think forward. So no Christopher Lawyer, no Paddy Roberts. Keith Simon Murray, Stuart Armstrong help us. I wouldn't take Stuart Armstrong back. Definitely not. Simon Murray's a good holding player. He's good at holding up. Doing well last season as well. Simon Murray. At Dundee, I thought he really terrorised us in that game in Dens Park. Don't know. Like, this the only one that's sticking out to me in the league. I would take, if there's 3 players that can get in the league, I would take Watt. I would not Tony Watt, by the way. Watt, Mulligan, and Bowie. They're the 3 players I would take in the league. You know, I'd rather have Paul Lambert over Armstrong. Armstrong's done. Like, Armstrong is well done. You know, scared the shit out of him. Big Bobo Baldi. It's very hard to get a Bobo Baldi. I'll take Martin Compare this right now, folks. There's that. I think the chair agrees with me. Yeah, that guy that plays for Motherwell. What, isn't it? Isn't it Motherwell? Elliot Watt. That's the one. Elliot Watt. He looks like a player. He looks like a player that we could need in that position. A defensive midfielder. He's only fucking 25 years of age. That is a player that Celtic should be going in for. He's 2 years left in his contract. Get on the phone to Motherwell and get him in. Pay 3.5 million. Get him in the door. That is a player that could do a job for Celtic. Elliot Watt. You know? What do you think? Yeah. What's this? Good 3 name players. Calvin Miller. Calvin Miller. Wouldn't go near Calvin Miller. Done all right tonight against us. You know? Bobo's going to get you. Right, folks, I'm going to jump off. Wasn't the greatest podcast from me. The heating's on too high. Thanks to me missus. And the chair's squeaking. I'm tired watching that drainage tonight. But it's three big points. And I will be back on tomorrow night for the podcast. Maybe about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. So keep the notifications on. Hopefully, we'll have a bit of an update on maybe a bid for Kieran Bowie. I think Celtic will probably ride out till the end of the transfer window. We'll hopefully have a chat to you as regards to that Croatian forward and the guys from Chelsea as well. You know, who's phoning? Keith, Mick, Nick. Right, I'm off. The chair says good night and take care of yourself.